I am doing the Numerology and Astrology for the 21st of June, 2022. My name is Suzanne Wagner. Thank you for joining me. Okay, we'll start with the numerology. If you add all those numbers together, you get the number 15, and if you add the 1 and the 5 together, you get the number 6. The number 6 supports all of us in moving from places of our purest heart and those places of unconditional love. It reminds us that good people are good, not because they follow a religion or a particular style of practice, but that they simply try to do their best at all times and act when they feel compelled to help and support others on this journey of life. We live in a world where people are becoming overly interested in filming catastrophes rather than lending a helping hand. Such patterns destroy civilizations and cultures. We must recognize that we live in a world where too many are struggling, and it is important to look at where we can help and do that when it is necessary and something that calls to our personal code of ethics. Traditional spiritual practices are good because they show one of many paths and give guidelines for how to do things correctly and help us follow the social rules of a culture. But I find children are naturally in such high states of consciousness and show often more compassion than is offered by a majority of adults. That is why today, reclaiming our own innocence is important and letting go of the wounds that have perhaps jaded us and allowed us to turn away rather than offer a helping hand. The astrology today. The moon in Aries sets the stage for a more energetic and enthusiastic day. As it aligns with Jupiter, there is a lightening of emotions, and it gives us an opportunity to turn away from the chaos and embrace a life filled with a newly inspired creation, direction, and purpose. Seems that we have a little bit of a fuel additive poured into our reconstructed engines today, and that is giving us a much needed boost. Pluto and Venus trine, and as the passions uplevel and focus in new ways, we see that situations are going to have to drastically shift, and many people are going to have to take greater responsibility for their choices and actions because of the consequences for not being prepared and just running amok in those past passionate flows. Have now become dangerous and deadly. Seems that we are going to have to teach our youngsters to grow up more rapidly and recognize that the new world in the U.S. will give no wiggle room for mistakes of any sort. We also shift into the sign of Cancer, and as we head towards the solstice, try to feel into the long days and short nights and feel into that warmth of the powerful forces of light that are trying to wake us up. Recognize that certain conversations are going to have to be had earlier with our children with greater honesty and specificity going forward. Caring for those we love is going to require a new level of vulnerability, truth-telling, and fact-based options rather than the old patterns of lazy avoidance. We are now going to have to become much more clearly engaged in the lessons around sexuality and personal intimacy. It will force us to address those hidden issues that make us feel awkward and uncomfortable. Thanks, everyone.